There's already a lot in place for tattoo shops as far as sanitation, so we're not doing anything more than taking those couple extra steps. You know, I want to know, have you been exposed to somebody with it? And there's, just to be careful. If the major flu is going on, you're going to ask those same questions,
Are you asking those questions?
Absolutely.
Carrying a license all 10 years, passed inspections, health inspections, everything. And for them to categorize us under strip clubs and other things like that, it hurts my feelings, you know what I'm saying?
Our owner is very adamant about keeping the shop clean. They kept us in line with other businesses that should not have even compared to us, because we are cleaner than most businesses other than hospitals and stuff like that. We're right up there with them. We shouldn't have ever even been shut down in the first place.
They're so sterile in here. They're more sterile here than at Walmart. Yeah. You can go and you can grab a t-shirt at Walmart that 1,500 other people have grabbed, and you can actually get bed bugs at Walmart because other people have. There's no way you're going to catch anything. This place is the cleanest tattoo parlor I've ever been. So that's why I keep coming back here.
You have to go through certain courses, and our bloodborne pathogens cover every disease possible. This right here is our bloodborne pathogens. It tells you that we have trained for certain bloodborne pathogens, anything that's bloodborne, such as HIV, syphilis, all diseases. And this right here is our first aid.
Each artist is required to wear gloves that will be disposed of. If they touch a phone, if they touch ink, if they touch anything besides the client, they must remove the glove before they touch it and then put the glove back on. And then they do their clients with a single-use needle, and we have everything wrapped that's supposed to be wrapped. We wrap their machines. We wrap their clip cords. We wrap their arm posts. This is what we call green soap. This is medical grade soap. You actually have to water it down and dilute it because it is so strong. And actually, if we don't water it down to the right amount, it will actually, it actually stings the tattoo because it's so strong. So you got to get it diluted enough so that it doesn't burn the open skin, the open tattoo. They have rinse cups in each one, and those rinse cups are used if their machine gets clogged up at all. And then they also have ink cups. After you use an ink cup, you must throw it away every single time. You don't reuse that ink for any reason. I know some places out of the house, I've heard they do. So this is why you should always go to a tattoo shop, because we are licensed by the state. We also have bloodborne pathogen that we must keep up on. And we are a clean environment. Getting tattooed off a couch is not an environment. So every time after he's done with all this, I break all this down. I throw away what's supposed to be thrown away. I sharps container what's supposed to be sharps container. And I wipe the chair down with Maticide. And this is what they use in the hospitals. Maticide, Wavicide, Cavicide. Those are all things that kill up to and including HIV and pretty much everything. So it's what they use in the hospitals, and a recommended tattoo shop will have some kind of side, I guess is what you want to call it, in the shop. And then from there, I wipe everything down, take all this off, take everything down. You let it sit for 10 to 25 seconds. Sometimes I'll let it sit a little bit longer because I'll find something else to do. And then you go back down and you wipe everything. I'm so stickler that I actually wipe down before the client gets back in the chair, before a new one comes in. So it's actually been double wiped. And then as far as the tables are concerned, everything gets wiped down. You shouldn't have excess on it as much as possible. Everything over here is pretty much single use. You get rid of it. But when you're doing piercings, you must autoclave all your piercings. So these are the hemostats, the clamps, the receiving tubes. We autoclave all of that. These are only good for 60 days. After the 60-day mark on these packages, you have to not only open them and get rid of the package, you have to re-sterilize the package. So we have to keep up with what's in there and re-sterilize if it's not used within that 60 days. We also have our single-use needles. They get used one time. After they're used, you get rid of it in a sharps container. We also do all of our jewelry in packages as well. This is the same rule, which it kind of gets sticky because we actually have to make sure, like, we're coming Because of COVID, we're coming up on the date that we actually have to pull these and start re-sterilizing because we were closed down for 3 weeks. So we're actually getting ready to start coming back in and pulling everything out that needs to be pulled out and re-sterilize all of that. Our autoclaves get a test run on it. These are spore tests. This is sent into a facility. They check it to make sure there's no mold spores or spores growing in our autoclave, and they send me the results. You must have one done every month, and it has to be on file if the health department comes in. There again, after every client, we make sure that everything is wiped down with one of the Maticide and Cavicide. And then we also, after that's all done, which I can do this right now. He actually just did a piercing. So here's all the packages that are empty. I threw away the packages, and in this, we put the used equipment into this. And what's in that is barbicide. And barbicide actually just came out with a certification that we can get. It's an online certification, and it's called Barbicide COVID-19. I actually don't have them printed yet because we just took these tests. And it's understanding how barbicide can help and also understanding the basics of COVID-19. So they just came out with that, and that certification is going around to artists as well. Among our, there's also another regular barbicide certification that you can get. So everything gets wiped down again with the Maticide. Whenever you're setting up, you're using single use. Like since he just got finished, that's gone. These pins are used one time. We buy these pins. They cannot be used again. We get rid of them. So everything we use is single use. The only things that are sterilized, you'll get into some shops where they don't use the ink, the cartridge needles. They use tube, tip, and grip. They sterilize all of those if they're stainless steel. They'll have to sterilize all that, again, with dates, making sure that they're done every 60 days. It's not just some industry that is non-sanitary and with sexually oriented businesses. We are actually just as precautious as, say, your hospital or your hair salons, who I love. We do everything just like them. We use the same exact products in the shop as dentist office, hair salons, hospitals. So this is a very sterilized environment, to say the least. So I just wanted to kind of at least point that out. There is more in depth that other artists can definitely show you, but me not being the actual artist, me just knowing how to set everything up, I'm just at least letting you know some of the sterilization techniques.